get diesel too.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think I got enough to go in there and get 25 acres.
This is a huge span. How big is this span on this thing?
What, 90 feet?
Yeah. What's crazy is this is a small one now. The new ones are like 120 feet wide, and they got way bigger tanks, way bigger motors, and way bigger tires, and way more weight. Straight. We were just
So do they also go in like this and straighten out?
Yeah, so it's got a set of cylinders in the back that does the wings like this. So I just put it out far enough to run some water through it because I had a hole in that pressure hose that goes back to the back rack. See that nice shiny new hose?
Oh, nice.
I got a hole in that
hose.
when I was spraying the winter wheat, and so we had to change that. So everything was empty, and we cleared out all the booms, and then we took off all the tips and changed them back to a low drift tip for spraying Roundup.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What do you guys spray the Roundup on?
On the fallow.
So the stuff that's not growing anything this year?
Yep, the fields that aren't going to be in crop this year.
And that's like across the street, right?
Yep, and that'll be seeded in September. So I've already sprayed that. That's why there's no green out there anywhere. Try to save a year's worth of moisture. Dogs. We made it longer too, because what was happening was every time this was going up and down to fold up, it was bending it right here, and it was like catching on that and bending it, and the hose failed internally, and then it ballooned out the outer layer, and then it got a hole in it. It was just squirting out. These are sweet though. These quick connects, they just have an O-ring in them, and they just two flanges meet with an O-ring in the middle, and then you put this clamp on it. As you tighten it, it just grips around them, holds them together. Because otherwise, if you have something like this blow, and it's got a fitting, it's got the hose on a barb and it's screwed in, it's almost impossible to get the hose off the barb to unscrew the thing. It's a nightmare. These are sweet though. You just zip them off, and then you pull them apart, and Bob's your uncle.
It had a what net?
Broadleaf chemical to separate out the weeds, like the mustards and the prickly lettuce and all kinds of different things that are growing in the winter wheat. So we put that in there, and so that takes that out from competing with the wheat. And then we have a selective grass herbicide that doesn't hurt the wheat, but is supposed to kind of hurt other grasses that are growing out there, like cheatgrass and stuff, and just make them weak long enough for the wheat to fill in and outcompete them. And then we put a half rate of fungicide down, which I don't think we're going to need this year because it's so dry. But there's a fungus called rust that can infect the leaves, and it turns them like orange with an orange powder, and it just kills the chlorophyll in them, and it can destroy the crops. Before they started spraying that on there, they had like full crop failures out here.
Jeez, brutal.
Yeah. And then I put 30% of the water I'm spraying has got this stuff from McGregor's called Rally, and it's a urea-based foliar feed. So it gives it a little bit of easily usable nitrogen for it to absorb. And it helps the plants kind of use what's in the ground and wakes them up and helps them out. Helps them get through some of the damage from spraying some chemicals on them too. It's wild because I'm spraying 10 gallons of water for an entire acre, which is like nothing, you know? And then inside of that 10 gallons for the broadleaf spray is only 13 ounces. So like a can of soda over an entire acre.
So they had to like master the plant in order to learn how to figure out.
And if you put too little on there, it doesn't work. If you put too much on there, you kill your wheat. So it's like, get it right.
Just to get the cylinder to break loose to be able to change the seals. Oh, no, we changed the hose.
Yeah.
That was when we did the cylinder.
Yeah, we had to change the wing cylinder seals too, because the cylinder was blown out, so it was letting the wing do this when I was spraying. We had to take this cylinder off here, and to get into it, take the seals off, we had to put a giant pipe wrench on the end of it to unscrew it. And it was the two of us with the giant pipe wrench with a huge bar hanging on it. And then we finally fell to the ground when it went.
We spent a while trying to get it to break loose. We didn't think we were gonna get it.
So normally they sell these, most people around the world, they're on flat ground farming, so they just have one of these wheels on their sprayer. And we had bought a sprayer years ago, my father-in-law, and we had taken off that pair, which is this pair, and put them in the back shed and thought we'd never use them because we put bigger, wider tires on. And then there's a farmer near this area that built these spacers so you can put on a wheel, bolt on the spacer, and then put on another set of wheels to make it into duals. But this thing is awesome on the steep side hills. Our other one that has the wider, smaller tires that, you know, they're not quite this footprint. You get on a steep hill, and all of a sudden the front tire starts picking up, and you turn downhill and you get out of there because it's trying to roll.
Sketchy.
But this thing has got a nice platform.
How tall are these? They're like...
They're tall.
I'm 5'9", and this is 5.
Yeah.
This is 6 foot. This is at least
close.
a 6 foot tire, aren't
Yeah.
you? You're over 6 foot, right?
6 foot. So it's right in there, 5'11" or so. They're
Sweet.
big.
Okay, that's probably good.
But they're tiny compared to the new ones. See the new rigs, the tires are as tall as that fender. They're just the whole rigs are way bigger. It's got big monster truck axles underneath it.